Hi, welcome. Today we're talking about writing characters. If you've tried creating characters before and you've had troubles, this show is for you. It's brought to you by the Your Family Stories system, which is everything you need to know to interview a loved one and record their life story. And I will have some free sections to that coming up, so keep listening until the end. If you haven't come across Forever Young autobiographies before, a big hello. It's where we learn to write life stories for family and friends so unique memories can live on. And it'd be fabulous if you could follow, subscribe, like the show, share it with a friend. Now this coming Sunday is Mother's Day, and I love Mother's Day, not just because I am one these days. It's a very important time of the year. When we think about our mothers, in most cases, they've shaped us into the people we are from when we were very young. And this carries on in the way that we've been brought up, helps us then care for our own children or our grandchildren. And mothers are just one of many characters that possibly will be included in your autobiography, your memoir, biography, or some other life story project. And we need to know how to write characters that are captivating. Just like VIP mums, we want to make sure we've recorded them and done them justice. So that's exactly what this show is all about. I'm going to kick it off today with giving you a bit more information about what is a character. We're writing characters, but you might not think characters apply to a life story. Well, in actual fact, there's many characters in your life story. You've got your mother or your father, you have siblings, you've got your other relatives, perhaps friends, workmates, other people who you mention in your writing are characters. Now, we want to make sure that these characters are revealing, and we need to describe them. We need to convey some of their essence and their spirit, the way they make you feel. And I'm not talking about doing this in a long, rambling essay. No, you don't need to do that for every character. Maybe just a few choice key sentences is all that you need. That's going to be a wonderful way to capture and write characters. Characters can be anyone mentioned in your life story, but how do we start with this description? Where do we start? So the first thing I want you to do is to describe some details, give some facts. And a way you can do this is to describe how someone looked. Start off by saying, describe their build. Were they tall? Were they short? What colour was their hair or their eye colour? How did they dress? That is a really good place. Put all these details in about how they appear. Then talk about what they did. Perhaps if we're giving an example of the mother, we are saying what was her career, or was she mostly involved with the family? What were her interests or her hobbies? And why did she choose these things? This all helps to start paint the picture of a full character. Another thing you can do, sticking with the facts, is to talk about their speech. Was there any key phrases or sayings that they were renowned for, or perhaps they even had an accent? All this is worth mentioning. I mean, when you put it all in isolation, it seems trivial, but when you package that all up together, it does make this, it's really powerful. It gives this really powerful picture of what someone was like. So number one, we've described their details, the way they've looked, what they've done, and their dress and phrases. Then we can move on to the location or the setting that these characters appear. Now, locations, we have lots of these in our life story book as well. I mean, it could be a neighbourhood, it could be a town, it could be where your home, your school, or your work. They're all locations, and characters are in these locations. And when we describe a character's prime location or some of their locations, it helps paint a big picture of them. So, for example, it goes hand in hand. So when we're describing a character like a mother, if we talk about her prime setting. So perhaps this mother, in this example, loved her garden, okay? So we would go on to describe this garden, okay? What exactly she planted, what some of her favourite flowers perhaps, how she tends to it. Maybe that she just gets so excited bottling her homegrown tomatoes once a year. So we get an understanding of this mother by describing her setting. Right, so we've done the details, we've done the location. What else can we do? There's some characteristics that are more than skin deep. You can't see them. You know, we might be describing this mother as someone who's thoughtful, who's caring. Now, that's a good thing to do. Put those characteristics in. But probably a more memorable way is to give a small story, a small anecdote that describes her acting in that way. So this is called showing instead of telling the reader about a character. So if we go back to this mother example, she's caring, she's thoughtful. We can list that, but let's put a story to it. We can describe when she took the day to organise a surprise party for her husband. And she might have asked you as the child to stay home from school and help bake the birthday cake together. Now, something like this is really heartfelt, really touching, and showing how much she loved and cared for her family. So this is much more poignant way of showing instead of telling what a character was like. So there's just some quick and easy ways for you to write about characters, to write about character traits, and to show rather than tell your reader about characters. To recap, we talked about the different characters you might have in your life story. Number one, describing the details. So this could be the way they look, what they did, and how they sounded. The second one was to describe their location or their settings. These can be really revealing to a character. And thirdly, we're going to go more than skin deep. We're going to talk about other characteristics by using storytelling. So showing instead of telling our readers. Now, my hope is that you'll take all of this on board and you are going to write memorable characters that sparkle off the page and really engross your reader in your life story. So everything I've mentioned is a sort of an overview of a bigger article I have about this on my website. And I really would love for you to read it. It's got some other resources as well. And you can go to it by going to foreveryoungautographies.com/writing characters. I will leave all the links for this down below. So please check that out. Go to the show notes, click through to that article. And while you're there, have you got a little snippet about your mother, a characterization of your mother you'd like to share? Pop it in the comments or even email it to me. Any life story questions at all, please email them to me. You can do that by going to foreveryoungautographies.com/contact. So let's share all our character writings. That's a fantastic way to get inspiration and to learn from one another. So at the top of the show, I mentioned the Your Family Story system, which helps you interview a loved one. This is a system I've come up over the years. I've been a journalist for decades, and I know how to hold an interview and to get all that information and record it and present it in a way that's step by step easy to understand. So I encourage you to look at the Your Family Story system. It's for purchase, but I've got some free sections. If you'd like to get a sense of the flavour of that system, you can get the free sections just by going to foreveryoungautographies.com/free. So please take a look at that. You put in your email, hit OK, and I'll send those to you. So I will be back again soon with another writing topic, and it'd be fabulous if in the meantime you could follow, subscribe, like the show, share it with a friend, and have a look for me over at Facebook. I'm always sharing things there throughout the week. So I'll be back again really soon, and until then everyone, happy writing.